The silverback, known to keepers as Poco, paces the far edge of the enclosure, muscles rippling beneath thick gray fur. His dark eyes scan the chattering crowd pressed against the glass above, every movement calculated and deliberate. Children squeal with excitement. Parents shout warnings, but Poco barely glances up. He is power and patience carved from years of survival. And in a heartbeat, everything changes. A small boy, Jaime, no more than 5, hoists himself onto the low railing. For a better view, his fingers grip the cold metal. He leans forward, laughing at the distant troop. A foot slips. A single terrible second of silence. Then he falls, gasps, slice through the humid air. Mothers scream. A man shouts. Feet thunder against concrete. But it's too late. Jaime tumbles, his tiny body hitting the hard-packed dirt with a sickening thud at the bottom of the gorilla pit. Inside the enclosure, a ripple of energy surges through the troop. Juvenile gorillas stop their play, heads swiveling toward the fallen figure. 2 young males grunt in confusion, edging closer. And across the habitat, Poco freezes. He turns his massive head, nostrils flaring, muscles stiffening. His gaze locks onto Jaime, still fragile, dazed on the dirt. A low rumble rolls from deep in Poco's chest. Without warning, he charges. The ground trembles under his weight. Visitors cry out, some scrambling back from the glass in panic. Keepers fumble for radios and tranquilizer gear. In the chaos, someone yells, "Get the rifles, get the nets." Poco barrels across the clearing, a 400-pound force of nature, unstoppable and inevitable. Jaime stirs weakly, lifting his head just as the gorilla closes the distance. From the viewing deck, the world seems to tilt. Parents clutch their children, hands slap against the glass. Cameras fall to the ground, forgotten. No one can stop. No one can save him. The charge is inevitable, and everyone prepares for the worst. Poco thunders closer, his massive form filling the enclosure. Then, at the last possible moment, he stops. Dust kicks up around his enormous feet. His chest heaves, his black eyes, fierce and wild, bore down into Jaime's. But he does not strike. Instead, he plants himself solidly between Jaime and the rest of the troop. A living wall of muscle and will. With a low rumbling growl, he faces down the younger gorillas, warning them back. Jaime blinks, dazed, tears mixing with the dirt on his face. Above, the crowd falls into stunned silence. In that moment, something ancient stirs in Poco. Not rage, not fear, recognition. The keepers hesitate, frozen at the perimeter. No one dares fire a tranquilizer. No one dares move too quickly. Because, somehow against every instinct and every expectation, the feared alpha isn't a threat. He's a shield. And though no one understands it yet, what they're witnessing is not a fluke. It's something born from the deepest scars of Poco's own past. The young males of the troop bristle with agitation, restless and confused. They shift forward, testing Poco's resolve, drawn to the strange, small creature lying helpless on their turf. But Poco is immovable. His massive body is planted firmly between Jaime and any threat, arms wide, chest puffed, a living barricade. Low rumbles pulse from his throat, a deep, resonant warning. Above the enclosure, parents scream for zookeepers. To act, some hammer fists against the glass in helpless panic. A guard yells for tranquilizers. Emergency sirens wail to life, piercing the humid air. Still, Poco holds his ground. Jaime whimpers, tiny hands scraping at the dirt as he tries to push himself up. His knee buckles. He collapses again. Every movement sends another wave of tension through the crowd. Poco flicks his gaze back toward him, then grunts softly. A sound less like a threat and more like reassurance. He steps sideways, gently guiding Jaime toward the rock outcropping that marks the shallowest edge of the pit. Zookeepers line the perimeter now, radios buzzing at their hips. One raises a tranquilizer gun, but the headkeeper, Reed, slaps it down. No, he growls, not unless absolutely necessary. One wrong dart, one wrong move, and Jaime could be caught in chaos worse than anyone dares imagine. Poco's enormous hand, brushes the ground near Jaime, urging him gently. Another soft grunt, a nudge with his broad shoulder. Jaime, dazed and trembling, instinctively crawls toward the rocks. Every inch closer to the wall is a tiny miracle. The other gorillas hang, confused by Poco's behavior. Some hoot uncertainly. Others retreat entirely, cowed by the unspoken authority radiating from their leader. In the crowd, some begin to weep openly, not out of fear, but out of awe. The massive creature, so often feared and misunderstood, is guarding, not attacking. Protecting, not harming. A standoff stretches on, thick with tension. Poco inches forward with Jaime, using his body like a moving shield. He blocks curious juveniles. He positions himself between Jaime and every potential threat, even the keepers themselves. Reed radios quietly. We have one shot at this. Calm. Slow. Use trust, not force. Down in the pit, Jaime reaches the base of the rocks. He lifts his tear-streaked face toward the humans peering down. His hands clutch the stone. Poco stops moving. He stays rooted there, protecting the child from every direction. It's an act of astonishing restraint and astonishing memory, because this is not instinct alone, it's experience, and the echoes of a loss Poco has never forgotten are guiding his every move. Behind the scenes, a frantic search through old records begins. Keepers tear through files, pulling up dusty reports, grainy photos, forgotten histories, and buried deep in the archives they find it. Poco's story, born into a wild troop deep in Central Africa, witnessed the slaughter of his family by poachers, one of the only survivors, a terrified juvenile who had shielded his younger siblings with his own body, refusing to abandon them even as chaos raged around them. Rescued, rehabilitated, relocated, but the scars, invisible to most, had never truly faded. Now, in Jaime lying defenseless at his feet, Poco saw the same helplessness he once lived through, the same terror, the same need for protection. It wasn't randomness. It wasn't coincidence. It was memory. Zoo management debates. Frantically whether to intervene, to dart, to distract. Every second they hesitate feels dangerous. Every second Poco remains calm feels like a blessing. The headkeeper, Reed, an old man with decades spent among animals, makes the decision. No darts, he says. We trust him. Meanwhile, in the pit, Poco shifts again, positioning himself so his massive body covers Jaime from every angle. The troop begins to lose interest, wandering back toward the far trees. The younger males no longer challenge him because they understand too. The alpha has decided this boy is his responsibility now. Inside the control room, someone murmurs. It's like he's back there again, protecting. The room falls silent. Even the radios are quiet. No orders, no shouting, just hope. At the edge of the enclosure, a young keeper named Mara volunteers to try a new plan. She knows Poco well, trained him, cared for him during his first months at the zoo. If anyone can reach him without breaking the fragile trust holding this miracle together, it's her. Mara steps carefully through the secondary gate, armed with nothing but soft words and calm movements. Above, the crowd watches, holding its collective breath. Below, a boy's life and a gorilla's redemption hang in the balance. Mara moves slowly, her hands visible, her body low. Poco turns his massive head, nostrils flaring. His whole body tenses, massive muscles bunching beneath thick fur. A low growl rumbles from his chest, vibrating through the ground. But she doesn't falter. She speaks his name softly, the name he was given when first brought to the sanctuary, the name only a few keepers ever used. Easy, big guy, she murmurs. It's okay. You're doing good. Poco shifts his weight, planting one hand in the dirt. His eyes flick to Jaime, then back to Mara. A flicker of recognition passes between them. He grunts, a soft, questioning sound. Mara continues forward, step by cautious step. She holds out a familiar cloth, a piece of an old training blanket the gorilla once clutched for comfort. The scent catches his attention immediately. He huffs, nostrils flaring again, but his posture loosens, his shoulders dip slightly. His massive hands relax from fists into open palms. Jaime whimpers, crawling the last few inches toward the enclosure wall. Mara is there instantly, scooping him into her arms with shaking hands. Poco stays absolutely still. Not a growl, not a lunge, not a sound. He watches as Mara carries the boy toward the service exit, his dark eyes calm but unreadable. The crowd, the keepers, the world, all frozen in awe. As Mara reaches the gate and slips through, Poco finally moves. He turns and ambles slowly back toward the troop, his massive frame disappearing among the trees and climbing structures. No anger, no regret, just quiet acceptance. Jaime is safe. And somewhere deep in Poco's heart, another tiny piece of the past is finally laid to rest. The video footage spreads across the globe like wildfire. News anchors replay the moment over and over. The boy, the fall, the charge, and the incredible protection that followed. Experts argue. Some call it instinct. Others call it an accident. But those who know Poco's history see something deeper. Compassion, memory, redemption. At the zoo, visitors flood to the gorilla enclosure in record numbers, not to gawk, not to fear, but to honor. Children leave drawings and letters at the foot of the exhibit. "Thank you for saving the boy," one reads, with a crayon sketch of the huge gorilla standing proudly.